talk therapy.
Noah, have you ever started something with full motivation only to give up a few days later? Sometimes I get excited at the beginning, but then something fades. It makes me wonder, why is it so hard to stay consistent? We always hear consistency is key, but we rarely talk about why we lose it. I think part of it is relying too much on motivation. Motivation is like a burst of energy, but it doesn't last. Real change probably needs discipline more than motivation. But discipline sounds boring, doesn't it? Yet it might be what actually keeps us going when things get tough. Maybe we need to think about consistency as a habit, not a feeling.
You're right. Motivation feels good, but it disappears so fast. I've set goals a dozen times only to forget them within a week. The discipline part sounds tough, but I think it's necessary. I read that successful people don't wait to feel ready. They just do it. That might be the secret, doing it regardless of your mood. I struggle with that. If I'm not in the right mood, I tend to skip. But that mindset is exactly what ruins consistency. Maybe it's about showing up even when it's not exciting. Like brushing your teeth, boring, but you still do it. If we treated habits that way, we'd probably stick to more things.
Another thing that messes up consistency is fear. Fear of failing, fear of not doing it right. It's exhausting. I sometimes quit early just to avoid the pain of messing up. It's like if I never try fully, I can't fail fully. But that logic traps us. We stop growing because we fear the result. Fear makes us stay in our comfort zones. And comfort is nice, but it kills progress. Sometimes we need to be okay with being bad at first. Consistency is uncomfortable at the beginning. But that discomfort is where growth happens.
You nailed it. Fear is a sneaky enemy. It hides behind excuses like, I'm too busy, or not today. But deep down, we're often just afraid of not being good enough. I've avoided starting things because I didn't want to find out I wasn't great. But in doing that, I never gave myself the chance to improve. Fear tricks us into stopping before we even start properly. Pushing through fear is where strength is built, and the more we face it, the less power it has. So maybe part of consistency is bravery. Bravery to keep going even when the voice in your head says not to.
Distractions are everywhere. It's so hard to stay focused. Even when I want to be consistent, my phone pulls me in. One moment I'm working, the next I'm on social media for an hour. It's like our attention is under attack all the time. That breaks the rhythm of progress. And once you break the flow, it's harder to start again. So many of our struggles are just battles with our own attention. We need boundaries, tech boundaries especially. Maybe even designing our space to help us focus. The less temptation, the easier consistency becomes.
Yes, I tell myself, just 5 minutes on YouTube, then it's an hour gone. Our environment shapes our actions more than we admit. I started leaving my phone in another room while studying, and it helps. It's not about having more willpower. It's about removing temptation. We can't trust ourselves to always choose the right thing in a tempting moment. So setting up our space smartly is a game changer. Like putting books in sight or removing distracting apps. It's not cheating. It's being realistic. We are not robots. We need support systems. That's how consistency survives in a noisy world.
Have you ever let perfectionism stop you from continuing something? I definitely have. If it's not perfect, I feel like it's not worth it. That mindset is so damaging. It kills progress. I'd rather do something poorly than not at all now. But it took me a while to get there.
We forget that being consistent isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about showing up over and over again.
Even if it's messy, it's better than nothing. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is real, and progress comes from repetition, not perfection.
Oh man, perfectionism is my biggest hurdle. I'll spend hours trying to make one thing just right and then burn out. Or I won't even start because I know it won't be perfect. It's a trap that stops us before we even begin. What helped me was reframing done as better than perfect. Like even 70% is a win if it's consistent. We learn more by doing consistently than by waiting for perfection. Small wins stack up over time. And each one builds confidence and skill. That's a much better formula than chasing perfect.
Do you think lack of clarity is another reason we give up? Sometimes I don't even know what my next step is. Without a clear plan, I start drifting or procrastinating. It's like walking in fog. You get tired without getting anywhere. That's when I lose consistency. Not because I don't care, but because I'm lost. Planning sounds boring, but it saves me from wasting energy. Even just writing out 3 small tasks makes a big difference. Clarity turns chaos into a checklist, and every small check feels like momentum. I think consistency starts with knowing exactly what we're aiming for.
Yes, lack of clarity can be paralyzing. I've started goals without a roadmap and burned out fast. I'd waste time deciding what to do instead of actually doing it. So now I break everything into tiny, bite-sized actions. When I know the next step, I'm more likely to follow through. Even 10 minutes of planning can save me hours of confusion. Clarity kills overwhelm, and when you're not overwhelmed, it's easier to be consistent. It's like laying bricks. You just need to know where to place the next one, and eventually that becomes a wall of progress.
I've noticed emotions can really mess with consistency too. When I'm anxious or upset, I avoid the things I'm supposed to do. Even if the task is small, my emotions make it feel huge. That emotional weight adds resistance. It's like dragging yourself uphill in bad weather. On good days, I feel like a productivity machine. But on bad days, I can barely start. That inconsistency feels frustrating, like I'm always starting over. I'm learning to be gentle with myself during those times. Consistency includes being flexible, not rigid.
We act like machines, but we're not. We expect ourselves to function the same every day, but emotions affect energy, and energy affects effort. Sometimes it's okay to adjust without giving up entirely. Like doing a lighter version of the habit on hard days. Even 5 minutes is better than nothing. I used to think if I couldn't do it all, I shouldn't do it at all. Now, I try to just show up in whatever way I can. That shift helps me stay more consistent over time. Consistency isn't perfection, it's continuity.
Have you ever tracked your progress with anything? It helps me feel more in control and see my growth. When I see a streak building, I don't want to break it. Even something simple like crossing days off a calendar helps. It gives me a visual reminder that I'm actually doing it. Sometimes we quit because we think we're not progressing. But if we had data or visual proof, we'd see it differently. Tracking turns invisible effort into visible achievement. And that motivates us to keep going. It's one of the best tools I've used for consistency.
I've always heard about tracking, but never really did it. But what you said makes a lot of sense. It's like giving your brain proof that your actions matter. We forget small wins unless we write them down. I think it would help me see them further along than I think. That's encouraging on days I feel like giving up. I might start journaling or using an app for habits. Even a sticker chart sounds helpful now. Whatever works to keep the streak alive, right? I want to give it a shot this week.
Do you think people try to do too much at once? Like they start 10 things and burn out quickly? I used to think ambition meant starting big, but now I see it's smarter to start small and grow. Consistency needs energy, and energy is limited. If we spread ourselves thin, we can't stick with anything. It's like trying to juggle too many balls, you're bound to drop some. That failure makes people give up entirely, but maybe one focused effort is better than 5 scattered ones. We should stop glorifying burnout and start glorifying focus.
Totally agree. I've been guilty of overcommitting so many times. New year, 10 goals. 1 week later, 0 progress. Now I try to focus on just 1 or 2 habits. When those become natural, I add more. I found that small wins fuel motivation, and doing less actually helps me do more long term. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing something well. Slow and steady wins the race isn't just a cliche, it's real. I feel more balanced and consistent when I keep things simple. Minimalism in goals creates maximum progress.
What about having someone to keep you accountable? I've noticed I stay more consistent when I share my goals. Just telling someone creates this invisible pressure to follow through. Not in a bad way, it's like positive accountability. When you check in regularly, you feel less alone, and celebrating wins together makes it more fun. Even when I mess up, it helps to talk it through. It's not just about discipline, it's also about community. Maybe we don't need to do it all on our own. We just need the right people around us.
That's a great point. I've always tried to do everything solo, but I've realized community gives you strength. Like a gym buddy, you don't want to let them down. Even just texting a friend, "I did my goal today," helps. I like the idea of weekly check-ins for progress. It adds structure without pressure, and it builds a routine around accountability. I think I'd stay more consistent if I had someone to share it with. Maybe we could try that? Support makes a huge difference.
You know what's underrated? Sleep. When I'm tired, everything feels 10 times harder. Consistency suffers when our energy is drained. I used to sacrifice rest for more work, but it backfired. Now, I see rest as part of the process. Without energy, even simple habits feel overwhelming. We talk so much about hustle, but not enough about recovery. If we treat our bodies well, we perform better. It's not lazy, it's wise. Sleep is a tool, not a weakness.
Wow, yes. I've been trying to get better with sleep too. Late nights make me groggy and unmotivated. It's hard to stay consistent when your brain's foggy. I used to think I could push through, but it only led to burnout. Now I try to keep a bedtime routine just like any other habit. Consistency isn't just about action, it's about preparation. Energy fuels action, and rest fuels energy. So really, sleep is part of the strategy. We need to start valuing it more.
One thing I've had to leave, if friends forgive me for missing a day, doesn't mean I failed completely. That all or nothing mindset is dangerous. Consistency isn't ruined by one slip, it's ruined by giving up. I used to beat myself up and start from scratch, but now I just continue where I left off. No guilt, no drama, just return and keep going. Forgiveness makes long-term progress possible. We're human, not machines. We grow through compassion, not punishment.
That's such a helpful mindset. I've struggled with guilt after skipping days too. It becomes this shame spiral. But if we see consistency as a journey, not a scorecard, it's easier. A missed day doesn't erase past effort. It's like tripping while walking. You just get back up. The goal is to keep showing up, not to be perfect. Progress has bumps, and that's okay. I want to adopt that approach more. It makes the whole process healthier and more sustainable.
After all this, I think I'm learning that consistency is a mindset. It's not about intensity, it's about showing up. Even if you don't feel ready or motivated, even if you failed a few times before, It's choosing the long road over the shortcut. It's forgiving the setbacks and returning anyway. It's building systems that help, not relying on willpower alone. It's about care, not pressure. Consistency is slow, quiet progress. But it's what creates real change.
That's beautifully said, Ava. I used to think consistency meant being strict or intense, but now I see it's more about being steady and kind to yourself. It's not flashy, but it's powerful. Doing small things daily beats doing big things rarely. It's not about a perfect record, it's about resilience. It's staying connected to your why and letting that guide you through the highs and lows. I feel more inspired to commit to small, steady progress now. Let's keep reminding each other that it's worth it.